Alright, we're ready to test this water barrel out. I got it pretty well ready, except for the side to fill it up with. I've got that on order. And two things are supposed to arrive today: the battery that powers it, which will be strapped in here. Here are the leads for the battery. And the solar panel to charge it, and here are the leads for the solar panel. But basically you've got battery coming into here, which is a solid state relay, and also to here. This circuit powers the switch, turning the whole unit on or off with this switch. So down here is the water level. There's this little float in there, and when the barrel gets empty, that float will fall and disengage this switch, which will turn off the power to the relay, which will turn off the power to the pump. Here's our spigot for water out. This is our inlet water here. This is designed for overflow, so while the thing's collecting and I'm not using it, you would turn this on. If it gets too full, it'll just overflow here, and you can run this down the drain it out away from the barrel. But the diverter that I ordered for collecting the rainwater actually does overflow, and it automatically overflows down the downspout. So I'll just leave this in this position all the time. You need it in this position to run the pump, and that's what we're going to test right now, running the pump, and make sure it all works like it's supposed to. And since I don't have the battery, I'm going to use a battery, which is this unit here is a charger, 12-volt battery charger, which in essence is a 12-volt battery. So we'll hook it up to the leads. Unit is off. We will turn on 12 volts from here. Okay, nothing to the pump yet. The float switch, there's about 5 gallons in here, so we're hoping the float switch is actually engaged. And we'll know when I turn the switch on if we hear the pump turn. Yes, the pump is turning. Alright, this will allow it to prime. Alright, that primed it. And the pump automatically shuts off when it senses that it has reached pressure, which is, as soon as I turn the spigot off, it's at full pressure. The reason I've got this switch rigged to control the control side of this relay instead of the power side of it is that the relay has an LED, which is going to drain the battery. So if I turn the switch off, it turns off the control side, which in essence turns off the power side. So I won't get power to the pump this way, but it also turns off that LED. So back on, and let's see how long. I want to test to see if the float switch actually does turn the pump off before the pump starts to cavitate. So there we go. You see there's a decent stream of water out of there. I could probably wash something down with that with a small enough diameter hose. What should happen is the switch, when the barrel gets low enough in water, should fall and break the switch, the circuit, which will turn off this LED, which will turn off this relay, which will turn off the pump. Now the battery I have on order is a 12 amp hour battery. This draws 8 amps max, so at maximum draw, that 12 amp hour battery can theoretically run this for an hour and a half. It pumps 3 gallons per minute for a 55 gallon drum. That's just under 20 minutes to pump this drum dry. So I only need it to run for 20 minutes. I've got a battery on order that'll run it for an hour and a half. And look at that, the float switch did turn it off. Now the question is, how early did the float switch turn it off? And for that, we will defeat, this is the circuit, that is the float switch. We will defeat that with a little feeder that I rigged up, which will turn the pump back on, and see how much more we get out before it cavitates. Look at that, starting to cavitate now. Pretty good, pretty good. I just eyeballed it. I wanted to have enough distance left to the bottom that it had distance to fall, but I wanted to get it as low as possible so we didn't leave a whole lot of water in the barrel. You can see it's cavitating now. Good. I'm going to turn it a little bit so we get the pickup lower in elevation. Get the rest of the water out of it. I have a filter in front of the pump to catch any debris. And I designed this so it's pretty easy to maintain. The whole pump unit and the pickup and everything is all self-contained on this board, and the board is not permanently attached to the barrel, so all you have to do is disconnect one connection here, and then this whole thing lifts straight up. And so if I need to change out the pump or change out anything, it's easy to work on. And you see, I've just put these L brackets, and since the barrel is curved, it also stops it from sliding this way. So it won't slide this way, it won't slide that way. The only thing you can do is rotate on the barrel. You see what I did for the pickup? I just cut a little notch on the bottom of this pipe right there so that it stays in contact with the water but can touch the bottom of the barrel. Okay, and then last but not least, put a little O-ring here. I push down, just kind of seal up that last little crevice. Voila.